Hello everyone, today I want to talk about something we all have heard of, and that is first impressions. I'll answer 3 questions about it, and I'm sure you will relate to what I'm about to say to some extent. So let's get into it. The first question is, what does first impression mean? So a first impression is basically some instant opinions you form about someone when you first meet them. And what I mean by instant here is that it takes us only a few seconds to form an idea. Well, it's not something you consciously decide to do, it just happens. Your brain naturally picks up on how someone looks, how they present themselves, how they speak, and you've already formed an opinion. Well, let me give you some examples. You attend a workshop and wait for the host, and all of a sudden, the host walks in confidently, greets everyone, and starts introducing himself in a friendly way. Within just a few seconds, you may think, oh, this guy looks professional and capable, even before he gets into his speech. Or imagine you meet a strange guy at a party. He's just standing there alone, crossing his arms and not really make eye contact. So at first glance, you might think he's cold and unfriendly, but maybe he's just too nervous. So that is first impressions. They are quick, they are subconscious, but the thing is they're not always accurate. So let's move on to the second question. What do you pay attention to someone when you first meet them? So what do I pay attention to someone when I first meet them? Alright, so for me personally, there are 3 things I always notice when I first meet someone. The first one is their eyes. Honestly, I feel like eyes don't lie. So someone looks at me warmly and holds my gaze, of course not in a creepy way or in a scary way, just naturally. It makes me feel like they are nice and approachable, and that immediately makes me feel more comfortable. Secondly, it's how they speak. It's not about what they say, but it's about the way they say it, the tone, the pace, whether they sound relaxed or rushed. But to me, someone who speaks calmly and clearly sounds more trustworthy. I don't know why, it's just how my brain works. And finally, their body language, like are they turned towards me or kind of half facing away? Do they seem open or closed off? For me, these tiny things say so much before any single word is spoken out. So those are 3 things I find myself always noticing when I first meet someone. But don't get me wrong, I don't use them to judge a person. They are just what I notice at first, and I think it takes time to really understand who a person is. Well, let's come to the third question. Is it easy to judge someone through appearance, expression, and behavior? Oh, that's an interesting question, and to be honest, I think it's easy to form a judgment, but it's really hard to form an accurate one. Well, let me explain. Our brains are literally built to assess people quickly. It's an instinct that goes back thousands of years, and sometimes those quick reads are correct. If someone walks in with a good posture, dressed well, smiling, you probably can tell they do care about how they come across. But here's the thing, I've been wrong so many times before. Let me tell you a story. There was a guy in my class, first year of university. First day, he barely said a word, just sat there staring at his phone. My immediate thought was, this guy is arrogant, he doesn't want to talk to anyone. But after 2 months, he was literally one of the funniest, most genuine people I know. He was just shy at first, and that's it. So the story leads to the first reason why I think judging someone is actually really hard. This is because we confuse personality with situation. Someone can seem cold just because they are in an unfamiliar place. Someone can seem arrogant just because they are nervous. And the second reason is culture. Like in some countries, especially Southeast Asian ones, if a student avoid eye contact with their teacher, that's respect. But if you didn't know that, you might think they are being rude or dishonest. The thing is, we all interpret behavior through our own cultural lens, and that can lead to wrong conclusions in some cases. Thirdly, We humans do have biases we don't even know about. There's a concept called the halo effect. So basically, if someone is attractive and well dressed, you automatically assume they are also smart, kind, and competent, which is obviously not always true. Our brains naturally fill in the gaps with assumptions, and those assumptions came from our experiences and preferences, not from the reality. So, judging someone through appearance and behavior is easy to do, but it's hard to tell whether it's correct or not. Alright, so to wrap up, first impressions are fast, automatic, but not always true. Personally, I pay more attention to someone's eyes, voice, and body language. And while it's tempting to judge people quickly, I think we should always stay curious and keep an open mind. Thank you for watching.